Today on the Topic Show, Secret Service director is roasted, then resigns. Elon Musk vows to defeat the woke mind virus after losing his son. Mr. Beast trans co-host allegedly messaged children inappropriately. Reid says to vote for Kamala Harris just because of her race. Kamala Harris allegedly raised $81 million in 24 hours. Nvidia may be preparing a new AI chip for the Chinese market. Verizon stock dips after missing estimates. And UPS stock, well, it crashes after their profits dip 32%. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. I say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you could reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every IT purchase this month to celebrate the 4th of July. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part podcast, you have Nvidia may be preparing a new AI chip for the Chinese market to comply with the export bans of the US, which makes perfect sense considering that is the hottest thing in IT is AI chip manufacturing, and Nvidia, pretty much the biggest bar none. They are the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and pretty much no one else could touch them. Now, every other manufacturer in IT, pretty much every high-end IT company from Microsoft to Meta, Facebook, they're all starting to, and even Google, they're all starting to make their own AI chips. But right now, Nvidia is still the industry leader, bar none. Now, this is brought to us thanks to sources over at Reuters, and they say, quote, exclusive Nvidia preparing version of new flagship AI chip for the Chinese market, sources say. Now, I was going to say, we'll go ahead and pull up their ridiculously good stock trajectory, which, geez Louise, again, not financial advice. Hindsight's always 20/20 when it comes to investing. Man, I wish I personally bought stock Nvidia years ago. I have a couple of friends who work there. Let's just say they'll never leave anytime soon because the employees are given quite exceptional compensation packages. And yeah, they split the stock. They split the stocks to $100. It's already up to 122.82, at least as of today. Granted, by the time this video is rendered, it will already be changed because that's what the stock market does. But going to actual substance, they say, quote, Reuters Singapore division by Fanny Polkin says, quote, Nvidia is working on a version of its new AI flagship model for the Chinese market that would be compatible with current U.S. export controls. Four sources familiar with the matter say. The AI chip giant in March revealed its Blackwell chip series, which is due to be mass-produced later this year. The new processors combine two squares of silicon the size of the company's previous offering within the series of B200, which, again, they're an exceptionally brilliant company. I'm not sure about the marketing. The B200, I mean, B2, reminiscent of cool engineering manufacturer World War II. You got the B2, no, what era was that? The B2 bomber? I'm trying to think, what's a B200? Nevertheless, the B200 is 30 times speedier than its predecessor at some tasks, like serving up answers for chatbots, which, again, AI chatbots is a whole thing in and of itself. Nvidia will work with Inspire, one of its major distributor partners in China, on the launch and distribution of the chip, which is tentatively to be named the B20, two sources say. Shipments of the B20 are planned to start second quarter of 2025, several sources also told Reuters. Granted, this also helped. There's just this rumor had their stock jump up about 4% as the news of this. They do know that China accounted for around 17% of Nvidia's revenue in the year to end January. In the wake of US sanctions, sliding, wow, it came down from 26% 2 years earlier, which, again, that's, yeah, if I was Jensen is still the founder and CEO of the company of Nvidia, I can't imagine. Yeah, you definitely need to make the new chip that'll comply with U.S. export laws so they can sell that ginormous market. Which, yeah, they say that they're also on track to sell over 1 million of its H20 chips to China this year, upwards of worth of $12 billion, according to a consultant analyst over at Semi Analysis. Now, they say that the U.S. wants the Netherlands and Japan to further restrict chipmakers' equipment to China so they can't start making their own. The Biden administration has also preliminary plans to place guardrails around most of the most advanced AI chipset models, the core software of artificial intelligence, such as ChatGPT. So again, another great example of politics may not be, you may not be interested in politics, but it very much cares about you and your businesses. Again, depending on what chips they are or are not allowed to export, that's a big part of the market they can't get. So, yeah, this is again just a rumor for now, but I think there's a high chance that they're actually making a new AI chip you can apply specifically to make the U.S. government happy while at the same time selling to one of the largest markets out there. And it will be interesting to see who tries to catch up with them. Again, everyone's starting to build their own foundries, trying to compete with the big guys, but me, as I always say, time shall tell. Other interesting business news, you have Verizon stock dipping after they missed their estimates, which, again, not financial advice. It is fascinating that, of course, it is always 2020 when it comes to hindsight. I'll put up the Verizon good old stock ticker. Currently trading for about $39.04 per share. Past 5 years, oh geez Louise. Well, of all time, doing good, of course. Like most stocks, they do generally increase over time. Again, not financial advice. It went up 17.53% since inception. Past 5 years is down negative 26.5%. Maybe they need to bring back those funny, goofy commercials from the 90s and 2000s era. I remember last time I saw a Verizon commercial in my lifetime. Yeah, it had to have been years. Past year, the stock is actually up, though, 20.4%. Year to date, up 0.87%. But past month, they're down about 5%. Last week, about 5% as well. So, a little ups and downs. Now, let's come to us thanks to, it's investors.com. They quote, Verizon slides as Q2 estimates, earnings eat estimates, while revenue misses. They say that, quote, Verizon Communications reported second quarter earning adjustments that met estimates, while revenue missed Wall Street targets. Verizon stocks fell as other key metrics underwhelmed investors. There's a nice complicated graph to look at while I pull up the specifics. The company said it added about 148,000 wireless postpaid phone subscribers, topping, A+ for good word, estimates of 94,000. Billed monthly postpaid phone subscribers are the highest spending wireless subscribers, which, again, like most things in life, is you pay a premium going month to month. That's why most people buy packages of software, pretty much everything, in groups of 12 calendar years. However, Verizon's consumer unit didn't turn positive in Q2, as some analysts had hoped. It lost 8,000 postpaid phone subscribers, while the company added 156,000 business subscribers, which, that's pretty good. Again, going after those corporate accounts always helps. For the period ending June 30th, Verizon earnings came in at $1.15 per share on an adjusted basis, down 5% from a year earlier. Revenue for Verizon stock rose 0.6% to $32.8 billion. However, that did miss the estimates of $33.04 billion. Wireless service revenue climbed 3.5% to $12.8 billion. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization came in at $12.3 billion, edging by estimates of $12.27 billion. So, missing a couple things. So, not great news for Verizon. They definitely need to keep turning things around. And again, five-year growth has been, negative. And again, I'd be fascinated to see what their marketing allocation budget is in terms of, again, when was the last time I actually heard of a Verizon commercial? Granted, I don't have a TV except one that I connect a laptop to for running on the treadmill. But nevertheless, are you surprised that Verizon seems to be slipping a little bit? And this isn't just Verizon. Again, other major telecom carriers are also having long-term issues with their stock. You were looking at, 3, 4, 5-year trends of the stock. Even AT&T is going down. And again, there's a lot of other startups. But let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Culture Pod podcast, you have Elon vowing to defeat the woke mind virus after his son, quote-unquote, died being tripped into puberty blockers. Now, I guess I should caveat, he clarifies in the video, but he's saying that his child or his son had died to him because, again, child, unbeknownst or unrealized to Elon, was put on these puberty blockers. And I'll just go ahead and I'll pull up the actual article. Now, this comes to us thanks to Colin Rugg over at X Twitter. And Colin says, quote, Justin, Elon Musk says his son is dead thanks to the woke mind virus after he was put on puberty blockers, saying he vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. And it's probably one of the most viral things on the internet. And his voice is infinitely better than mine. It's only about 2 minutes long, but not too much further ado. This is an interview brought to us thanks to the Daily Wire, and they got their little logo in the bottom there looking cool.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he
That was a lie right from the outset.
incredibly evil. And I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
So
a
I was
personal
tricked
connection.
into doing this, and it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs.
Yep.
So anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. So they call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Amen to that. That's heartbreaking to have that happen to him. Can't imagine that. Here. And it's probably one of those viral things. It got 26 million views and 210,000 likes. And yeah, this is yet another prime example, and it's of course heartbreaking, but it is an example of yet again where something that we're told, oh yeah, this isn't happening. It's just conspiracy theories. Definitely not happening. And then slowly but surely, they move the goalposts. They go, well, it's happening, but it's very, very rare. It really does. It's not. It's just a little rare. And then they go, well, it's happening a little bit. Then they say, oh yeah, it's actually happening. Then they say, oh, this is happening, and you should tolerate it. Then they say, oh, this is happening, you should accept it. And then they say, oh, this is happening, you should celebrate it. We've seen this time and time again with a myriad of cultural issues throughout the years. I don't think it's a coincidence that it is just a copy paste of other social cultural topics we've had throughout our lifetime. And yeah, biggest lies. One of the best documentaries on this is What is a Woman by Grant Walsh, funded and published by the Daily Wire, because they kind of go into the whole issue of, why are they sterilizing these kids? It's disgusting, morally, mentally vacuous to say the least. Now, some of the top comments come down here. You got Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, Elon is on a mission and I stand with him. The woke mind is a virus, getting 13,000 likes. Futurist says, I stand with Elon, getting 2.4 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, being woke is a mental illness, agree, getting 5.5 thousand likes. Colin Ruck says, I wasn't aware of how personal it is either, getting 6.5 thousand likes, which can't imagine happening. Man, that is. I can't imagine that happening to your kid like that. That's heartbreaking. And yeah, I think this definitely lit a fire inside Elon. He's going to fight to the death to repeal this cultural issue that's destroying so many lives permanently, destroying so many families. SFS84 says, I never knew this about Elon. This is incredibly personal, and I'm glad he shared his memory with us. My heart breaks for his loss, getting 659 likes. Junita Broderick says, well, quote, you can almost feel his pain. This is so sad. These kids need to mature to make decisions on their own without the trans influencers and medical field intervening. Getting 18,000 likes. Colin Rugg says the long pause at the end says it all, getting 9.4 thousand likes. Brick suit, which A+ for marketing. He does in fact wear that suit with a brick little pattern on it. And as we all know, true men always suit up, so he does look sharp. Brick suit says, quote, I didn't know this about Elon. I had assumed he hated the woke mind virus because it is obviously bad, but he lost his son. This helps explain the purchase of Twitter and so many other things. Woke mind virus effed up after the wrong kid. Now daddy's come to help. He continues saying, daddy's coming to help destroy it. Right. Got 15,000 likes. TDB says you must influence your kids before others brainwash them. Getting 5,000 likes. And yeah, don't forget this is reason number 12,958,735,423 to not send your kids to public schools. Because a lot of these teachers in public schools, not all, but many of these teachers are pushing these types of gender ideologies and trying to transition kids at schools without parents' permission or knowledge. Again, this is yet another thing where we told that was happening. It is in fact happening. California just passed a law that will allow the student to be influenced at school and identified differently, and they do not need to tell the parents. They passed a law saying it is no longer required for the parents to be known in that conversation. Which, anytime you're trying to hide information from the parents, is a big red flag. Also, a big red communist flag as well. I don't think that's coincidence now that I think about it. But yeah, that's why Elon is moving X, also known as Twitter, as well as SpaceX, out of California, because of that specific bill. That was the straw that broke the camel back, so to say, and Elon said that publicly. So I think it is good that more and more people are starting to realize that this is in fact happening in the real world, and the problem is becoming more and more widespread. Let's see. There's a quote from Elon saying any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child before they are a consenting adult should go to prison for life. Getting 5.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, to call that child abuse is almost too light. That is one of the most evil things I could possibly think of. Let's see here. Do we finally find a contrarian statement? Interesting. And maybe this is a contrarian statement. SDL, interesting profile name, says conservatives are always like this, and it's SpongeBob laughing in a room, or SpongeBob's the walls. Then they got the whale in the middle of the room. Got 3.1 thousand likes. Let's see here. Afi B trans flag says reminder that despite Elon Musk's delusions, his kid is quite literally not dead, is very much alive, and simply wants nothing to do with him anymore. Getting 6.3 thousand likes. We did find a contrarian statement. I had to scroll a little bit there, but it does exist. Again, life gets a little bit boring if you're in an echo chamber. And there's a reason they call it dead naming. There's a reason why pretty much every major platform on the internet will literally eliminate you if you dare to say the wrong pronouns or you dare to say someone by their previous name. Now, we also have PRAB saying it's so heartbreaking now how much... oh, wow, this is another contrarian statement. Interesting. So PRB says it's so heartbreaking how much of an awful father he is, getting 3.5 thousand likes. Which... I think it's awful that he didn't comprehend what was going on in real time with the paperwork he was signing, and it is heartbreaking that he was deceived in that way. I don't think he's a bad father. Granted, I don't know the guy, but based on all the information we have at hand, I don't think so. Let's see. USMC Lady Veteran says, quote, "This is a very difficult subject for Elon. His biography was very intense about this in his early childhood," getting 909 likes, which that is by Walter Isaacson. I have that on the bookshelf. I need to definitely crack that book open this year. Let's see. Livercat Media TM says he's absolutely right. We're in the middle of this. Instead of Star Wars, it says Trans Wars. As a trans flag, or the colors there, getting 423 likes. Let's see. American Papa Bear says, I had no idea. This is sad not just for Elon, but many parents out there. We must stop this woke mind virus. Getting 590 likes. Which I think eventually, that kid does not look kind of like a really anemic John Lennon, or like a starving John Lennon. This is from SM Honk. It says, pray for Xavier Musk. He was so caught up in the woke mind virus and transition that he disowned his own father for trying to help him. Xavier filed to change his name to Vivian Wilson. For a kid, his parents must be devastated, unquote. That got 231 likes. Yeah, Elon is definitely being more out there with his opinions, first endorsing Donald Trump, but now coming out on the, fascinatingly enough, this is a controversial thing in the United States, the woke mind virus, and especially the transition of children, which, again, wind back the clock 10 years ago, there's so many infographics explaining or showing how conservatives and Republicans had stayed about the same, then people on the far left just ran off the cliff, and they just keep pulling more and more. 10 years ago, everyone in America, except maybe the people in San Francisco, would agree if you actually transitioned a child, you'd be sent to prison for life, at the very least. You'd be sent to the court system, I would presume, they would charge you for child abuse, and you'd be found guilty. It's insane that this has become a political issue and divided America or the United States in about half and half. This has become a political issue. I don't think it should be. It's quite sad, and I think more and more people are waking up to this. I think they're going to start voting differently. Because again, every state is making their own decisions on how to handle these types of situations. And it is quite concerning because, again, the biggest, they keep lying. They say, oh, yeah, they're totally, these puberty blockers are totally reversible. Yeah, fascinatingly enough, there's no studies on that. Fascinatingly enough, the same drug is used to neuter sexual predators. Yeah. So let's just say I'm not sure. I don't believe them when it comes to those things. And yeah, it's fascinating that this is a huge controversy in the United States. I hope in the future it isn't, but because of how divided our culture is and how seem to be dissolving any common ground, I mean, this is another issue where there's not, I'm not sure how much common ground there is. I mean, I think most Americans don't care what you do once you're 18 plus. I think that might be some common ground, maybe. At the same time, I'm not sure if that could really be considered common ground because people on the far left would say, oh, then it's too late. You have to start young, which, yeah, those teachers and doctors are quite scary and even more concerning as the parents. But let me know, do you think Elon will start to fund mechanisms in terms of nonprofits that are trying to combat this and get help resources out to people who don't realize the hugely detrimental negative side effects of these procedures and these drugs? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Mr. Beast, trans co-host, allegedly messaging children inappropriately, which, yeah, I think a lot of people would say they're not too surprised. Now, we'll see if this video gets pulled off the YouTube, but I'm pretty sure this person's legal name is still Chris Tyson, which I don't want to say this is sus, as the youth might say, but well, his name with a K. And that's just weird. But nevertheless, now this just comes to us thanks to Maul on X Twitter, who says, quote, Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast has been messaging a male minor starting when the minor was 13 and Tyson was 20. The two constantly joked inappropriately with each other about, the hell is that? Henty addiction, sending suggestive pics, etc. They confirmed meeting met up each other when the minor was 16. I don't know why the picture isn't working there. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh my gosh, it's loading like a 1990s Dell computer, like line item by line item. A little nostalgia there. But yeah, and that video is going viral on the YouTube. It was originally published by Broen, B-R-O-E. Was it B-R-O-E-E-O-N-E? And yeah, this is someone who is extremely, again, I don't know this individual in terms of the Tyson, but yeah, in terms of being a selfish, being morally vacuous. Again, this individual is a father to a wife and a child. And all of a sudden decided to not be a father anymore by taking the drugs and transitioning and stealing that away from the child. So this is, Mr. Beast is already controversial because of that. I mean, culturally speaking, and with YouTube policies and what YouTube prefers, I wouldn't be surprised if the people at YouTube were very, very happy that Chris is transitioning. Because again, they all have every platform has their own agenda, their own preferences, and Mr. Beast is the biggest and most successful one. And yeah, it would probably, I mean, YouTube would probably be pretty happy there's a cool hip influencer on the YouTube where this person's friend is changing. Now, this one pretty valid. Got 8.6 million views and 24,000 likes. Now, again, we have a lot of like video testimony. I'm not sure if they should. I haven't seen the actual screenshots from the text messages and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm still saying allegedly. Heaven forbid they actually sue me. Take away my Honda Civic SI. It's green. I love it. But nevertheless, some of the top comments. Actually, scrolling down, there's actually a continued statement from Maul. And Maul says, quote, even if we take the most charitable interpretation of these messages, we still have a college dude constantly sending sexual charged jokes to a fresh high school student. Now, yeah, I know guys often do homoerotic jokes with each other, but A, it's with dudes their own age. B, Chris apparently identified as bisexual at the time. Getting that additional statement got 3.8 thousand likes. Maul continued saying, quote, lots of people are focusing on Chris being into lowly. How's that? Was a fan of Shandman. Asked Shade to make lowly pictures for him. Don't mistake me. I think that shit is effing gross too. But you know what? I think it's way worse to constantly send gross messages to actual minors. True. They got 2.5 thousand likes. Looks like if you go to the YouTube video, they do have some screenshots. Not good for them. Let's see here. And you continue saying, is Lava saying that all screenshots of the sex jokes are fake? If the screenshots are true and Lava's age was correct, Chris knew his age, then Chris was still sending many sexually charged jokes to a minor, at least between ages 13 and 16, on Twitter, Snapchat, and Discord. Which, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Mr. Beast defends this. Because again, when Chris decided to transition, that was a huge point of controversy. Mr. Beast came out and he said, hey, I support Chris no matter what Chris decides to do. Nothing changes. Which, yeah, all the videos after that got really awkward as Chris decided to act more like a girl in terms of the vibe and the interactions with the rest of the team. And yeah, a lot of parents that knew about it, again, I don't think a lot of parents do realize this, which is, again, is always a huge issue when parents give kids access to the internet and they don't preview the materials that they're watching, which is, I would say, one of the biggest mistakes parents make in modern times. It's another great reason to buy physical media, like the good old VHS tapes and the DVDs and the Blu-rays. Because again, if you actually, one, you own it, so it won't go away if they try to update the streaming platform so you don't get the license renewal with your favorite program. But also, you can view it and you preview it and you know exactly what it's going to be. They're not going to update it with anything bad. And again, I feel like a lot of parents just drop the ball these days because, again, they have no idea what the kids are actually watching. Now, one of the first comments after the continuation of the chat comes from, hold up here. Papa Wokes says, can't wait for another Mr. Beast defense tweet getting 1.6 thousand likes. Skullface says, child predators seem to be wearing these colors, trans flag, why, getting 1.5 thousand likes. I am filthy fiendling, can't pronounce, I think that's the name, says, quote, wow, the dude pretending to be a woman is actually a pedo, never heard about that before. Getting 1.2 thousand likes, which, yeah, it's, I'm pretty sure there's a high propensity of that. Scrolling down more and more, you have Nick Merckx saying, pretends to be shocked, getting 3.9 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. The Hangman Lee says, waiting for everyone who went ballistic over Dr. Disrespect, talking to a 17-year-old girl to also cancel Chris for flirting with inappropriate with a 13-year-old boy, and talking about hentai with him, getting 2.8 thousand likes. Dr. Land says, not even surprised, even less considering who the content appeals to, getting 137 likes. Gordon Lionheart says, where's the shocked Pikachu face, getting 507 likes. John Douglas says, Mr. Beast defended his friend wholeheartedly through all this. If this turns out to be real, and that blowback is going to fall back on him, I doubt it'll dent his fame, but this dude about to disappear like it's a photo with Stalin, getting 266 likes. And that would be interesting, even if there's irrefutable evidence, how many people would stop watching Mr. Beast? He is the most successful YouTuber since the dawn of time. And a lot, again, the average person just watching the YouTube might not even be on X Twitter. They might not even realize this. They might not be watching those videos with the exposés. Let's see here. Brad Stevens simply says, imagine my shocking 139 likes. Is any more contrarian statements? There's a shocked Pikachu face from Nikki.Cakes getting 20 likes. Scrolling down more and more. If coins go up, says, oh man, what a shocker, is Dwight from The Office saying, wow, getting 8 likes. Another Pikachu face in shock, getting 2 likes. So yeah, and again, I'm not sure this, I do not believe, based on my research, that this person has been charged on a state or local level yet in terms of the government going after him and actually filing charges and taking him to court. And it'll be interesting to see if and when that happens, and then how's Mr. Beast and the team going to react, and how are parents going to react if they haven't woken up already to what's on the YouTube these days. I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, Mr. Beast is like, if you look at the category of the programming, it's kids friendly, which yeah. It'll also be interesting to see the demographics of who watches Mr. Beast and, how much of an impact that could have on his audience. Let me know, are you surprised by this development? Do you think it, based on the information we have, do you think it's true? Do you think it's just more rumors? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Joy Reid saying to vote for Kamala Harris because of her race. Now, this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness on X Twitter, in which he says, quote, Joy Reid is out with new talking points. Kamala Harris is a cultural phenomenon. Every person of color must fall in line. Geez Louise, I'm sorry. I should have given you a warning for your eyes. The image is already on the screen of of Joy Reid, which ironically she's never really that joyful. Very, very better. And also say Cruella DeVille. She has like some type of fur coat on. But we'll see what she has to say.
Hey fam, okay, I just gotta say it. I just gotta say it. Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're gonna look real crazy being on the other side of that line.
Oh, really, X Twitter?
Particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're gonna look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber, and she look crazy over there, but shut the door behind her. You really are gonna look crazy being on that side.
Very persuasive. You have to do this because the whole group is doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. I mean, granted, most people would say her intellect is of an elementary school child, so maybe that's why she's using that argument here. But yeah, oh yeah, everyone's gonna vote this way. You have to. Although I guess it's not as bad as when Joe Biden famously said, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." Which, fascinatingly enough, he got barely any negative backlash from the mainstream media.
Cultural phenomenon of Vice President Kamala Debbie Harris. She's about to make history. She's about to become the first woman president. She brings together the African American community, the AAPI community, younger people. She is
AAPI? Well, let's see what that is. AAPI community. That was I was thinking it was AARP. I thought that was like a retirement thing or like a, was that car insurance? What is that? What is it though? Well, if I just Google or Brave search AAPI, I get Jazz Pharmaceutical honors invaluable contributions of the AAPI community. What is it? They have their own website. Okay. Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, and allyship in philanthropy. You should probably say that because I can't be the only person wondering what the heck that is. Am I? Almost done, I promise.
Is a whole meme, and I'm going to explain to y'all the fall of the coconut tree is a whole West Indian thing. She brings together.
Wait, wasn't her family from Jamaica and India?
All of the aspects of the culture. HBCUs, she's a Howard graduate. The Divine Nine, she's an AKA. She is a woman of color extraordinaire. She would be the first, person from HBCU, regular real world, to be president of the United States, in addition to being the first woman president, in addition to being the first black woman president, in addition to being the first AAPI president. She's
still waiting for her to give us a compelling reason. Is it because of her great track record of guarding the border or developing, regulation around AI, both tasks that Biden famously gave her? Maybe there's some persuasive arguments in here.
Bringing it all. And very importantly, she will be the first woman president after the fall of Roe v. Wade. A woman who brings women back to power after having our power stripped from us by 6 far right wingers on the Supreme Court, including one woman who turned on us. Baby, this is a cultural moment. Don't be on the wrong side of history. Don't find yourself on that lonely side, because you're going to look real crazy over there with Kid Rock.
The most rudimentary argument of all. Vote for him because vote based on what the cool kids are doing and based on race. Not once did she say a single accomplishment by Kamala Harris. I've done many investigative reports. I'm sure they're out there. I haven't found one yet. There might be some. But yeah, vote for Kamala Harris because all the cool kids are doing it because of her race. And the Supreme Court, I mean, again, that's going back to the states. So no matter who's the president, unless they pack the courts, which would be as immoral as what they usually do these days. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that does happen. But let's go to the comments. Got 337,000 views and 4.3 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, notice how obsessed Joy Reid is with the word look. That's because she's a racist, getting 241 likes, which, yep. Yeah, I can't help but think this is the dumbest in terms of metric to vote for someone is definitely their race. I mean, vote for someone based on their policies, their track record, their ideas of how to fix problems, how they're going to fix the inevitable U.S. debt that's hit like nearly $35 trillion under the ineptitudes of Republicans and Democrats. Yeah, she's saying, oh yeah, vote for her based on her race. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, race baiting is trash, getting 1.9 thousand likes. Valentina Gomez says, her and Kamala use the black card so often. I'm done with race identity politics, getting 1.3 thousand likes. Vivek Parody account says, Democrats haven't accomplished a single thing, especially for the black communities, getting 242 likes. Which, yeah, just ask Chicago how that's been working for the past 93 years. Evil Texan says, let's see here. What do your old colored people, where have I heard that before? Getting 599 likes. Jeff Carlson says, fortunately for us, Joy Reid is also batshit crazy. Getting 280 likes. He's saying contrarian statements here. That'd be interesting. Mr. Full Moment says, throwback to this gem, this 18-second song with Kamala.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong. Ukraine.
I mean, that's actually the story of most countries acquiring land throughout the dawn of time. Also, who is writing those speeches? Yeah, so Ukraine is a country in Europe. Like, it's almost kindergarten level of writing. That did get 69 likes. The Patriot Oasis says Roy Reid is a racist, getting 88 likes. Let's see here. Cash Loren says Joy Reid is a devout racist, getting 10 likes. Teresa Finn says, puh, the skin color card, really getting 103 likes. Here. Oh, this is this unburned. Fox says Kamala Harris being unburned. It's the video compilation like 100 seemingly times where she says that he'll be unburdened.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah, that's that's not a good saying. Like, every other president has had like good sayings and catchphrases because marketing is important. I mean, Obama famously had the Hope and Change, which was a very effective message that got millions of votes. Trump had Build the Wall and Make America Great Again, both very effective messaging, getting millions of votes. The change thing, what has been, I mean, that's gonna get like 20 votes legitimately for Kamala Harris. That is not a good catchphrase for politics. So overwhelming critique of Joy Reid. Now that being said, I'm sure the cows who watch The View and go on The View, they all think that is a brilliant take to vote for someone simply based on things that they cannot control, such as their race and gender. And again, there are some people who will vote for Kamala because, just because she's a woman. I don't think that's a majority of Americans. I think a majority of Americans are hopefully going to look at the track record of Kamala and the track record of Trump and say, hey, who has had the best policies that help my family? Who had the best policies that help support businesses? Who had the best policies that, made it to be affordable to be in the United States and, live the American dream? When was gas under $2 again? When was inflation not at 40-year high? I suspect most Americans are going to think about those questions, not, well, gee, what did this person look like? I think those types of rudimentary arguments are becoming less and less effective throughout the United States and throughout time. I do hope that we move past to the point where we just all in unity laugh at these morons and hyenas for saying, oh yeah, you should just vote for someone based on, the race and their gender and the sex. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, let me know. Anecdotally, are anyone in your group of friends into that kind of stuff? Or do they just going to vote just because they're going to play the woman card? Let me know, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have Kamala Harris apparently raised $81 million in 24 hours, which is quite a pity penny to say the least. I mean, given with inflation, that might be enough for 2 hamburgers in a couple months. I only partially jest. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Virtoniago on or X Twitter, in which he says, quote, raised 81 million in 24 hours, endorsed by 180 representatives in 24 hours, endorsed by 40 senators in 24 hours, endorsed by 23 governors in 24 hours, endorsed by Republicans against Trump. Kamala Harris has made a great entrance. A new era of light is upon us. Which, hopefully this isn't a crappy song. I suspect it does. Yes. Let's see. Like Kamala Harris walking out, and someone thought it'd be a good idea to animate blue butterflies flying around her, and then there's like a smoke screen and some spotlights, and she's wearing a blue suit. I don't find this very persuasive, but that is apparently an advertisement to vote for her. Is it because she lives in a fantasy world? Perhaps. This could just be the latest crappy Disney movie, for all we know. But in all seriousness, this did get 89,000 views and 1.6 thousand likes, which a lot of people are wondering. $81 million in 24 hours. There's a lot of rumors she might not even be, running for president soon. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of unscrupulous things that are happening. One of the first comments comes from CC saying, oh, geez Louise. Kind of cliche. But again, I said in last segment, there will be people who vote just based on someone's gender in their race, not based on their policies. You have CC saying, as a woman, I could say this, which I would love to meet this person because I bet the same individual cannot define what a woman is, but I partially digress. She says, as a woman, I can say this. Hillary created those cracks, but Kamala will break through that ceiling. Hashtag Kamala Harris 2024. Mentally Vacuous, however, did get 17 likes and 6 responses. Was she ratioed? Let's see. A couple of people critiquing Hillary, but not ratioed by number of likes, which is also another rudimentary argument or a unmoral argument saying, as a woman, I can say this. No, you're a human. Even better, you're an American. Superhuman, some might say. We all have equal rights. We all have it's quite literally the freedom of speech. Granted, these same people probably don't read the Bill of Rights, and heaven forbid most of them don't know what the Second Amendment is. You gotta know the reason of it, alone the First Amendment. But yeah, you never have to clarify, like, as a woman, I can say this. No, you're an American. You're human. You can say that. You have freedom of speech. Ironically, on this platform, thanks to Elon, which many of them are starting to detest. You also have Insurrection Barbie saying, quote, policies of the leftist Stalin, not one moderate will vote for her. No one believes she raised 80 million from 880,000 small donors in 24 hours. She got 0 votes in the primary. True. She got less than 1% of the votes in 2020 primary. She couldn't even win her own state of California. She cackles like a hyena and speaks in rhymes. Black men will never vote for her. She locked up more black men than Joe Biden with his crime bill. True. Republicans against Trump, LOL, all 5 of them. Trump is beating her in the polls. Her approval rating is lower than Biden. We're not even buying the horse manure you want to pass off as ice cream. Nice try, though. That got 12 likes. Which, yeah, she failed pretty miserably in California. And yeah, Biden literally said he's going to pick someone based on, not their qualifications, but just he's going to pick someone based on their gender and race, which is ridiculous. Going down, you have Ultra Mega Dean saying, laughy emoji, in his picture Kamala says, I'm not with her. Getting 33 likes. Will there be any parodies of Kamala with her knees that are worn out? Because she spent so much of her career on them, sleeping her way to the top, and she did. She quite literally is the most famous use case of doing that, sleeping her way to the top. Look at her career and who she, what's a nice way of saying this, bumped heels with. We also have Boogie with Stu saying, hope is a beautiful thing. Is it? It wasn't ratio, but someone responded saying beautiful like a Trojan horse. Going down more and more. You also have me official, what a joking, 6 likes. Harmon7 saying not buying it, sorry, getting 5 likes. Let's see, Weeby Bite says they are trying to resell the support from Joe getting packaged and delivered to Kamala. True. Cultured Swine says, imagine watching the Trumpers' reaction when they lose to a black woman, getting 28 likes, which, again, if this person has better policies and conservatives, I don't really care what the race or gender is. And ironically, I think there's less racism on the right than on the left, but I partially digress. You have RN for Trump, and again, that did get 28 likes. RN for Trump says 81 million, laugh out loud, 8 likes. Corey Polinsky says never won the primary vote, which again, another not very honest thing. The people voted for Biden. Like him or hate him, the people voted. They wanted him to run. Now the Democrat Party just gonna be like, we're just gonna Biden bow out because we see the statistics on how Trump beats him in pretty much every conceivable metric. Let's see. Jasper says $81 million in 24 hours. Yeah, Joe definitely got 81 million votes too, getting 10 likes. DW says, oh, this is funny. It's a cat emoji, so you gotta read it. It's cute. It's a little cat wizard. And it says 2016 to 2020. It says 2016. There's an article that says California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. Then an article from 2020 says Biden picks Kamala Harris running mate, first black woman. And there's a cat doing a little wand. It says, whoosh, now you're black. Getting 5 likes. The heck? And of course, you have the mentally vacuous people who are already worshiping her. You have Robert Sim, simply says Kamala 2024 is a picture of her animated to look like basically a god with doves and some type of dress suit. They did get 3 likes. Jeff Green says she's a loser. Have fun with that, getting 3 likes as well. Let's see. Aaron Saunders says I pooped in my mouth, getting 1 like. It'll be interesting to see if she really raised all that money. Again, $81 million. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who are going to fundraise just for Democrats just because they viscerally hate Trump. Again, there are Democrats in general who fundraise all the time. $81 million? Let's just say I'm a little skeptical, but let me know, do you think, did she truly raise that much money? And how much support will she really have at the end of the day? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Representative Nancy Mace destroying Secret Service Director Cheatle in a viral video. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Benny Johnson on X Twitter. Says, quote, wow, total savage mode. Representative Nancy Mace just ended the career of disgraced Secret Service Director Cheatle on live TV. And her voice is infinitely better than mine. Well, it's about 5 minutes long, but this is one of those viral things, so I'm definitely going to dive in.
Answers.
Pull it up real quick.
Answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
The question.
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been
yes
eager to
or no?
come
You didn't want to
and
answer
talk
the
to
question.
committee.
We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Bullshit. The most secret, quite literally, how bad are they at their job? Their name is quite literally the Secret Service, and yet, oh yeah, I don't know how they got out there. Whoops. Which again, shows that you're either corrupt or inept. Or, as Archer might say, little column A, little column B.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely...
Again, this should be, I mean, this is the most important thing that's happened in the Secret Service for decades. She really cared about her job, was doing it honestly. I mean, every second since this incident happened, she'd be gathering every piece of information and analyzing everything. And yet, she just says, I don't know. Which again, she's either lying or corrupt or inept. Choose.
Dishonest.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
Chairman, I want to.
Come on.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter how
have you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. Is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. Like, you're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We have asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. These are not hard questions. Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret Service? Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you even read this letter that we sent you? Did you even read this?
Yes.
Okay. And you have said you don't know, you have no idea. Well, the answer is no. We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for. So was this attempted assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
What?
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel are currently operational. We
still on
are
the job?
examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
I am still verifying timelines.
Of course.
The real answer, minutes. Or some reports saying they had people pointing to the shooter 3 minutes out. Some people saying 20 minutes.
9 days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of crooks and the shooting? How many minutes?
I am still verifying timelines.
57 minutes.
Even
Thank
worse,
you, Mr.
57
Chairman,
minutes.
and I yield back.
Again, there's a lot of fuel to the fire. People saying, is this intentional? 57 minutes they saw this individual, and they're like, proceed. We'll do. Let's not worry about that. 57 minutes, really? And now, spoiler alert, she did finally resign. Now, a lot of people are wondering, maybe she was set up, maybe she's just the scapegoat, or maybe they just, what's really going on? Now, one of the first comments comes from, going down here, you got Blue Collar Patriot saying, quote, she's spot on. This was purpose lapse of care of the Secret Service. They wanted Trump gone, getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, yeah, they're either really stupid or they just really, really, really intentionally were lazy and bad at their job because they wanted the worst to happen. Bev Harris says, so there are a few people in Congress worth a damn. How do we get more like her, getting 1.4 thousand likes? Representative Nancy Mace says, excuses with excuses. Heads need to roll, getting 2.9. Let's see if we make it. Oh, we couldn't get to 3,000, but nevertheless, 2.9 thousand likes. Ed Rayner says, Representative Nancy Mace is the kind of person we need in all of our representatives. That passion and fire is needed to cut through the morass of the swamp. Getting 4.8 thousand likes. Gary says Mace is savage, getting 1.3 thousand likes. Cynthia America Truther says, I don't want Director Kim Cheatle to simply resign. I want her charged and held accountable. We the people know this was an in-shot job. Getting 3.2 thousand likes. Which, yeah, it is pretty ridiculous because she did step down. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, imagine you make the biggest mistake in your whole career and she's not facing any fines, penalty, or prison time for her almost unparalleled ineptitudes. You also have Machiavelli saying Cheatle and Mayorkas are clearly behind the assassination attempt on Trump. They must be held accountable and prosecuted for treason, getting 1.8 thousand likes. Old School Eddie says she was the executioner, getting 624 likes. Yeah, never forget, she literally, the reason that she claims that they didn't have a counter sniper on that roof was that the incline was just too much. It was unsafe. Which, again, there are those giant slopes on the White House building where they have sharpshooters there. And then days after she said that, a cow was on that roof. I should clarify, not one of the large, unfit Secret Service agents that cowered in fear behind Trump as he was getting shot. Not her, not like a cow. I mean, an actual cow from a farm was on the roof. That's how not steep the incline was. That's how, yeah, so that excuse is, to me, I think that's clearly a fake excuse. Sherry says Mace is on fire, getting 573 likes. AKA simply says demolished, getting 408 likes. Florida 1 says she was frustrated. No data given from July 15th request. A full week. That is stonewalling. True, getting 498 likes. He is in contrarian statements here. Daniel Duke says Representative Nancy Mace was awesome, getting 117 likes. This is a good viral clip. Went earlier this week, but Amit Shah Parody says Representative Fallon to Cheatle, go back to guarding Doritos.
You know what else is dangerous? I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful, and you should be fired immediately and go back to guarding Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
You have 1,000 likes for that comment. Which, yeah, there's probably be a better use of her time, or a more appropriate use of her time in terms of her skill set or lack thereof. Scrolling down more and more, see if any contrarian comments. Ben says she slammed Cheatle, how embarrassing, LL, getting 93 likes. Let's see, when was this video? Is this from the actual incident? Again, turn off that volume. Let's see. War on Wokery says she ain't wrong, getting 65 likes. Ben says she slammed Cheatle, how embarrassing, getting 93 likes. Dogface Ponia says, yeah, Mace was awesome, getting 102 likes. Which, again, I'm not too surprised. She went to Congress, went to DC, asked her a bunch of questions, and she mostly said, I don't know. Didn't supply in the data, and yet, yeah, no fines, no jail time. And knowing how the public sector is, she'll probably get, if she chose to step down, probably got paid a huge pension or something like that. But let me know in the comments, how many people do you think actually tune in to this congressional hearing? Do you think these really matter at the end of the day in terms of, how many times have we actually gotten actionable data from these types of things? Let me know in the comments. As always, fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have the Secret Service director. Well, she finally resigned. Because, yeah, she did the worst job in decades. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Betty Johnson over on X Twitter. And she says, quote, breaking Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle has resigned, getting 2.8 million views, 72,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Planet of Memes, which unfortunately was not in meme form, so not a little bit boring today. Nevertheless, Planet of Memes says she stayed on as director 10 days too long, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Paul Suzuka says now prosecute Cheatle, getting 81 likes. Frankie Preeley says now arrest her, getting 534 likes. Ryan Duff said shocker, too much pressure, go back to guarding Cheetos, getting 239 likes. AKA says finally, getting 131 likes. William Bill says now arrest her for treason, getting 1,000 likes. Classics Jarb says took her long enough, getting 976 likes. Bruce Bilal says good riddance. I wonder how much she got paid to work with those who tried to take out Trump, getting 504 likes. Which, yeah, maybe she is the scapegoat for all this. Again, it's not like she's getting any consequences. She'll get a new job probably, I was going to say, where should she go tomorrow? Probably some leftist company, and then she'll get a government job maybe in a couple fiscal quarters again. And do a little jack back and forth. MSNBC would probably hire her in New York Minute. Rooker says, what took her so long? Now bringing the criminal charges against her, getting 92 likes. Notley Ken says, good riddance, getting 56 likes. Let's see here. Chris Marquez says, it was a start, but the entire agency needs to be cleansed of leadership, then conduct a competency review with all the agents. Gave 39 likes, which, yeah, it is even more ridiculous that no one was fired after that incident. Like, all those agents are still on the job. Which, yeah, I feel bad for anyone for the folks they're trying to guard, because they clearly are inept at their positions. There's any contrarian statements here. Another one, Burke says, now prosecute that woman, getting 20 likes. Marley says, good, now lock her up, getting 43 likes. Let's see. Jordan Peterson said she couldn't tell a counterfeit bill from a Monopoly note. It's like trying to navigate the depths of chaos without a compass, getting 12 likes. Ritz of TikTok says she gone on a cake, getting 22 likes. Was this Kamala Harris clip?
What did you do to become the presidential nominee of your party?
Well, sometimes you just have to hawk Tua and spit on that thing, you know?
You can't escape the meme. It's everywhere. Which, that's obviously fake. That got 9 likes, though. Let's see. Paul C. simply says, finally getting 2 likes. Billy Dice Gaming says, oh no. Says getting 6 likes. I'm going to butcher this name. Apologies. Rhetoric says her replacement will be fired too by Trump, getting 9 likes. Egrees Khan says huge. Oh, had to be Trump's voice. Every time you see that, like China. The huge in China. Which, again, it's hilarious that those are kind of drilled into our heads. Let's see. Wow, it seems like 90% of the comments are all just calling for her to be prosecuted. Although, again, as a government employee, I don't think she'll ever actually have any negative, like charges against her. Sam says, Secret Service obstacle course and a bunch of roofs. Yep, that excuse will never be forgotten. And I'm actually surprised because, again, most people in politics, they just cling to the jobs to their very death. And even when they perform poorly, they never step down. So I'm pretty shocked that she actually did step down. It'll be interesting to see what her next place of employment will be. And again, if any criminal charges are really brought against her, and if any documentation or any evidence is really found or a thorough investigation will ever be performed. Let's just say I'm not too optimistic that one will occur. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have UPS profits dropping. Well, they're not so good. Their stock dropped about 15% after their profits dropped, even worse, 32%. Now, we'll dive into the article, but really quick, just looking at their stock price, in past 5 years trend, not too bad. So, pulled up over here. Currently trading for $125.32 per share. Which, again, that's pretty good for the 5-year trend. But for the 1-year trend, oh, yeah, no, oh, dear God, no. It's down at 23.46%. Year to date, down 8%. Past month is up 4, but down past 5 days, it's about 5. This needs to be refreshed as well. Now, going to the article, you have this is by Aaron McCade or at Investopedia, saying, quote, UPS stock dives as profits drop over 30%. Which, yeah, that's going to be horrifying. They say, quote, shares of UPS tumbled 8% in pre-market trading Tuesday after a shipping giant reported a second quarter earnings that was lower than analysts expected amid a pullback from pandemic high package deliveries. Revenue for the company's shipping operations fell just 1% from the same time period last year to $21.8 billion, while analysts had expected revenue to rise to $22.18 billion, according to estimates compiled by Visible Alpha. Profits fell by a wide margin. UPS reported 32% drop in net income to $1.41 billion, down from $2.08 billion the same time period last year, below estimates, which probably didn't help that the new deal with the union, I think they said that drivers are making up to $175,000 per year, which is astronomically a lot of money. They also say that, quote, UPS narrowed its revenue outlook for the full fiscal year, projecting revenue of roughly $93 billion compared to the previously projected range of $92 billion to $94.5 billion. The company also lowered projections for the adjusted earnings margin, roughly 9.4% for the year, below the previous projections of 10% to 10.6%. CEO Carol Tom said that UPS returned to growth in terms of shipping volume for the first time in 9 quarters, which, Jesus Louise, talking about long overdue. The first time in 9 fiscal quarters. She also suggested that the normalization from pandemic highs could be nearly complete for UPS and shipping rivals such as FedEx. Tom said that the growth should allow UPS to return to growing profits in the second half of 2024. They also say that UPS has announced plans to restart its stock buyback program with $500 million over the rest of 2024, with plans to target $1 billion annual going forward. That's not great. They say the share stock tumbled yet again even more after that news. And yeah, their costs have been increasing, the profits are decreasing. It's not good. And again, the big 800-pound gorilla in the room is, well, Amazon. They're slowly but surely building out their own infrastructure as they have their own more, even a greater fleet of planes. Obviously, you've seen the Amazon buses darn near everywhere. Can't throw a rock without hitting one of those things. And I also don't suggest it, since Amazon has copious amounts of capital for litigation to sue you into oblivion. So wouldn't actually recommend doing that. And yeah, I think a lot of these shipping companies should have seen the writing on the wall, because again, Amazon was one of their biggest clients. And as soon as Amazon said, oh yeah, we're going to get into the logistics transportation, that's not great. And I can't help but wonder what's demand going to look like. They say it's going to pick up this year. I'm just going to say I'm skeptical, to say the least, because it's also election year, which in general, no matter who's running, on average, the economy does decrease because of all the economic uncertainty, the political uncertainty. People are wondering, will we be regulated out of existence? Or maybe we'll get some good tax breaks. They can help reinvest the company. We can spend more money. Or maybe the individuals will get to keep more money in their pocket because the government doesn't steal, taxes much of it. So there's always a lot of political uncertainty this year. Compared to other cycles when I've been in business in my tech company, there's even more uncertainty. So, the UPS is saying it's going to go up. And again, none of this is financial advice. But, geez, let's just say I'm skeptical, to say the least. And again, the profits crashing 32%. That's tough. That's going to be rough. That is, of course, certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.